Hey guys, that monkey my back here for that video, guys. Welcome back to episode of my Madden Noclipped series, where we take a look at Madden stadiums in Madden 22, 23, and 24, and finally Madden 25. And just like the Colts Stadium, the Cowboys Stadium also has working cars on the outside of the stadium. So I wanted to do the Cowboys next because I don't know, I just got a fixation for cars. For whatever reason, most dome stadiums in Madden 22 had working cars on the outside. Madden 23 as well. Key thing though, Madden 22 and Madden 23, the Cowboys Stadium, they actually went above and beyond when it came to how they had the working cars on the outside. You're going to see in a second, where they actually had mapping of the cars. So they mapped out to different neighborhoods in the game and would go to different neighborhoods and actually had them correctly mapped out. It's crazy. Anyway, though, this is obviously Madden 22 we're looking at right here and inside of Jerry's world. Even though this year the Cowboys kind of struggling. Very surprising, too, because I think Jerry Jones said they're going to go all in this offseason, but guess that all in didn't really work out as well. But hey, still a second half of the season. I'm a Bengals fan, so I can't even talk. I mean, right now we're currently 4-5. Waiting for a very important game on Thursday Night Football. But with that being said, though, Jerry's World is probably the best stadium in Madden. Like, in all honesty, without bar none. The locker rooms is not the greatest. There are better locker rooms. But when it comes to just pure detail of the actual stadium, it's a very beautiful stadium. I got to give a lot of props where props are due when it comes to Jerry's World. Again, I've not been the biggest Cowboys lover in the past. Will never be. But for the stadium, I got to give them a lot of credit. It's a very, very beautiful stadium. And I think EA Sports, to their credit as well, does a really good job of masking that beauty in the actual stadium and giving us a pretty good looking all-together stadium. You got the Cowboys logo as you go out the tunnel, and I'm just kind of looking at the bottom here just to see if make sure I don't miss anything here. But we do have this area inside here, and of course we do have the gigantic Jumbotron, which is at the middle of the stadium. So right here we do have vendors, kind of vendors. It's an image on the wall vendors, which so far I feel like the couple stadiums we have looked at, there are actual stadiums with vendors in them. I just want to kind of make that clear. Okay, like there's for some reason I just chose like 3 stadiums in a row that do not have vendors in them, but normally the stadiums do, like in Madden. Now this is the creepy part. I don't think this is actually how it looks in Jerry's World, because I would assume they would not make a very, very creepy looking situation here. But for some reason, got ourselves a very creepy looking situation here. Not sure why, but this is just, it looks like a horror movie. Like, if you looked at that realistically speaking, you would think that this is a horror movie. And also that for some reason the Jerry's World does not keep like the stadium actually like good. I mean, because every little crevice there is just like a horror movie, but ironically enough, it's not the case. It actually is just a Madden thing, I believe. I hope. I pray. I poopla. I don't know. It just looks so weird. It just looks like a horror movie. And for it being Madden, you would expect it not to have the horror movie S. We do also have this little crevice thing around the stadium that goes straight down. It is kind of weird. Going over here, we have just an open area, which I believe is supposed to be like a suite, an open suite or something. But yeah, it's kind of very, very weird. The outside of the stadium for this stadium is actually very beautiful as well. So the inside is amazing. The outside is amazing. Again, I think EA Sports definitely has some Cowboys fans on the dev team because they went out of their out of their mind to get this stadium to be as perfect as humanly possible. And we do have more vendors over here on the left-hand side that we just went through. There's not any actual signs, which again is kind of disappointing. I wish they had actual signs. That's my biggest complaint about this whole map, is that they don't have actual signs. If they had signs and like the stuff we see on other stadiums, I feel like it would be so much freaking better. But it is what it is. We got cars over here though. Actually a good amount of cars. So we got 2 there, and then we got, I think, like 6 over there. Oh wow, actually, yeah, we have them on both sides. I didn't even realize this. We got them on both sides here. So we got, what, 5, I believe, and then we have 6 for the bottom one. So 5 on both sides, and then 1 more, so 11 total. I don't know how I missed that the first time, but yeah, shout out to the fact that I definitely missed that the first time, that we have that many cars. On the other side here, we just have this little EA Sports logo right here, which, because I'm not customizing this stadium, I'm not going to change it. But normally, when I customize these stadiums, I do change that logo and get rid of it. Because, bro, nobody wants the EA Sports logo on their stadium. Unless you're the Commanders who, you know. Yeah, there's a reason why the Commanders have the EA Sports logo on the stadium. Again, another creepy. Why is this stadium so creepy, bro? We're past Halloween, and I feel like we're doing a Halloween special in this stadium. This area right there is just creepy and just off-putting. That's what I'm thinking about, off-putting. All right, so now outside the stadium, yes, we have working cars. We're going to talk about that in a second. We got the little reflection mirror thing right here, which is kind of cool. It actually does reflect correctly. A lot of reflections in this game does not reflect correctly. So that one reflecting correctly is actually kind of cool. Over here we have Cowboys logos on the signs. Over here we have a Cowboys logo and AT&T Stadium right there. We got our pro shop. We got our tickets right there. And again, like I said, even on the outside, the stadium is freaking fantastic. Every time I do a custom variant of this stadium, as you guys probably already could tell, I always like to go ahead and change up how I do the front of the stadium. I'll actually put like a picture on the front of the stadium instead of doing the way I have it set up, or how it's set up normally, which is just Cowboys logos. I really feel like they should in real life put a picture up on those Cowboys logos instead, but they don't. All right, so now we have the cars. There's way more cars in this stadium than there was in the Colts stadium. And not only that, you're going to see from Madden 22 to Madden 25, they actually drive around a lot more. Including, they go to the houses that are set up on the right-hand side here. So, not only are there, like, actual good-looking cars, not just, like, crappy cars, we actually have, and this is Madden 22 as well, you actually have, like, real, you know, like, sports cars that are driving. Which, again, when you look at the fact that this is a Madden video game, you cannot see these cars because it's a dome stadium. There's no angle you can see it correctly. It's crazy. Like, EA Sports just said, you know what? Let's go all out and just add all these cars in this stadium when there's nobody that's going to be able to see it. But who cares? Because EA Sports knows it's there. So, I don't know. Here's my thought, my process about this. I kind of felt like maybe EA Sports was going to make this into something, and they just never got around to do so. Because the fact that they actually went out of the way to do mapping for the stadium. And when I mean mapping is like when you actually put a track for an object to follow in a video game. If you've ever played a video game like Homer Simpson's Hit and Run, when you see the AI or the computer cars driving around, they're mapped to go that certain direction. They will always go in that same direction, in that same area, and that same everything, right? Because that's how they are mapped to do so. That's what I'm talking about when I say mapped. It literally is as simple as a straight line or a line that they follow. You think about like when you go to like a amusement park, right? And you're in a roller coaster, that is a straight line it follows, right? Same concept here. It just follows the line. So that's what mapping is in a video game as well, is it just follows the line. Which, again, is just crazy how in a Madden video game, we got this in much enhancements. And you're going to see, because we're going to get to Madden 23 in a second, it's going to get even crazier. Like, it's going to continue to get better. And then Madden 24, Madden 25, they're just, you know, they off the whole thing. They gave up on it. They're like, yeah, no, we're done. We're done with the concept and idea. We don't really care too much. But, you know, there was a good time. There was a good time where they cared. And it really isn't a big deal, to be honest, because it doesn't really change anything. But, hey, it's a big deal to me. Because it reminds me of a point where EA Sports might have gave just a tad bit of a fluff about this game. But gameplay, no, not gameplay. As always, Madden 22 does have the biggest map of any Madden in Madden, period. Madden 23 is a smaller variant, Madden 24 is a smaller variant, and then Madden 25 is the same variant as 24, except it has more detail. So it's like they kind of kept taking away map size after 22, and then Madden 25, they're like, what if we just add detail to this map? And then they decided that that was a smart idea. Shout out to EA Sports. You're killing it. Anyway, we're about to head over to Madden 23 in a second here, as we just look at the final details around this map. Again, it's still a good-looking map. I give EA Sports credit where credit is due. Still a very good-looking map. For Dallas, I know a lot of people, I think, not a lot of people, some people commented on my video and said, that's not what Dallas actually looks like on the outside. Yeah, I think they kind of just went for like a Wolves type, Rural. Rural. I don't know. I can't. I got a speech impediment for R's and W's, okay? So it's not going to happen. I think they went with that more because a lot of people said that some of these stadiums look actually very accurate. By the way, this is Madden 23 right here you're looking at. We are into the next Madden. We'll go Madden 24 after this and then Madden 25. But a lot of people did say that for some of these stadiums, it's very accurate on the outside. And then some of them, it's like, It's kind of iffy, okay? It's kind of iffy. It's not the greatest. It's kind of all over the place. So some of them are good. Some of them are really not that good. So that's kind of how it seems like for some of these, is that you see that some of the outsides, they can get some details correct, but it's not as perfect as you would like it to be. It is what it is at the end of the day. But with that being said, we got the little inside cafe right here, which, again, like I said, still looks good in my opinion. Got the star logo on the top there. A little area over here with the chairs. Got some TVs in here. I do the one thing I do have to do moving forward, because again, like I said, I'm going to map out and truly customize the stadium in the future. Before the end of this year, I'm going to really go in-depth detail on everything. I might choose Jerry's World, because I feel like we could really make this a lot better of a thing here. I feel like I could really go crazy on the outside of this stadium. Because I'm looking at Google Maps on the outside, and doesn't look bad. I mean, it doesn't look like it's that hard to do on the outside of this stadium. I'm not talking about just the stadium part, like the actual like buildings around it. Doesn't look that bad. I might do that. I might use this as a stadium. I don't know. Because again, one thing I've learned about Cowboys fans, they love their football team. Texas loves football in general. I mean, all Texas loves football. And if you make a mistake and you mess it up in Texas, you're going to end up on a steak, bro. And I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do all that. But right here, we do got our creepiness. It doesn't go away. It gets a little bit better with the stairs. I'll give credit where credit is due there. It gets a little bit better with the stairs, but it's still creepy as all get out. It's still kind of eerie feeling. Just, I don't like it. I don't like it. That's pretty much my expert analysis. I don't like it. It's an eerie feeling. Today is just not my day to speak. For whatever reason, I just cannot speak today. But as before, again, inside the stadium. For Madden 22 and Madden 23, you're not going to see much of a change. Yeah, I feel like for the stadium purpose, you're not going to really see much of change until you go to Madden 24. And I feel like that's really where you start to see the real difference and changes, and no clipping actually matters a little bit more. But as we zoom out here, we got the suites up here, which actually, no, these were just as open in Madden 22. Not really anything different. I have ADHD, okay? So when I see cars on the outside, my first thing it goes to is, look at those cars. And again, you're going to get really excited when we look on the outside here. Now, keep in mind that both these stadiums have nobody on the outside. Madden 24 is notorious for putting people on the outside of stadiums like ants, but because it's a dome stadium, I do not believe Madden 24 is going to give us that many that many fans on the outside. Again, like I said, because it's a dome stadium, you're going to kind of get in that weird perspective where you're probably not going to see too many people on the outside, even with Madden 24. All right, so we got our cars, and I'm trying to keep my focus point here on the outside of the stadium. We're going to do a lot better job of focusing on that as more with Madden 25, because Madden 24, we're going to lose the cars. So this is the last Madden with the cars. Anyway, we got AT&T Stadium here. As we zoom in here, we got tickets, we got Pro Shop. Over here to the left-hand side here, we got the Cowboys logos as before. And then we have these little pillars with lights on them as we go around. We also have this. Again, some of these I do and don't remember in the last Madden, because I record these videos in segments. So sometimes I remember like, oh yeah, this happened or that happened. Sometimes I don't. All right, so cars. Yes. All right, so these cars, as you can see, there's a lot more cars in this stadium than there was in the other stadium we had, which was the Colts Stadium in previous video. But you can see, okay, so the cars go inside the neighborhoods, right? And watch this car. Before he, disappears, he stays in front of a house for a period of time and chills there, and then he disappears. Which, again, kind of makes it look like that, that house is occupied by that car. Maybe it's not, but it gives you the illusion. And I like the illusion that it gives. I feel like it's really cool, to be honest. Because it just gives you that little extra oomph, right? Again, listen, I'm easily pleased because I know how much we don't get with EA Sports. So even the littlest detail can sometimes get me excited. But as we go around here, again, the map is a little bit smaller here because it is Madden 23. We're not going to get as big of a map as Madden 22. For the most part, again, it is very kind of just a bunch of freaking, what's it called? A bunch of just land on the outside, like farmland. You do got some neighborhoods that are set up around. But for the most part, it's just a bunch of freaking farmland. That's what you see all the way around this stadium. As we go throughout the whole entire stadium, say it's the whole entire map, you're going to see just a bunch of farmland. Do got some buildings, do got some neighborhoods, which for the most part, the neighborhoods, now that I'm looking through all the files, going through all the maps, it looks like a lot of these neighborhoods are kind of just copy and paste the same texture, which obviously isn't real life. But it's still nice to see the neighborhoods, and with the mapping of the actual cars, it's cool to see the neighborhoods with the cars. Now, obviously, when the cars are gone, then the neighborhoods don't really make any damn sense, right? But when the cars are here, it makes a lot more sense to have cars in the neighborhoods. But then once the cars go away, it's like, oh yeah, awesome. We now have just regular neighborhoods with no cars. And also out here, you don't really get that kind of, cars in neighborhoods. You just get that near the stadium, which does make perfect sense. I believe there's only, I want to say maybe one or two other stadiums that have cars on the outside. They're actually working and mapped out correctly. But yeah, so Madden 24 just killed the whole idea. So I would have to assume there's probably a dev or a couple devs who maybe worked on this and pitched the idea to EA and said, hey, listen, like, we would like to make cars on the outside. Maybe it would look better in, like, presentation. And I kind of have a feeling how they had it structured most likely was the fact that they were probably pitching the EA Sports like, hey, we're going to make this a little bit more about presentation in this game. And EA was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Because Madden 23, they did a little bit more presentation. Now we're into Madden 24. And the cars are gone, by the way. But I think they tried to pitch it a little bit more. And by the way, do you guys see the upgrades with the tunnels? Like I said, Madden 23 to Madden 24, the tunnel system and the inside the stadium and the stadium in general, that's where you get the updates. That's where you get the crazy stuff. You get the signs on the wall. You get all this stuff. Now, Madden 23 to Madden 24 was a next gen. Old gen was Madden 23. Next gen is Madden 24. So you kind of get that difference of, okay, well, this is next gen, this is current gen, and stuff like that. But that's kind of the big difference also that you see is like, oh, this is next gen Madden, so you're going to see, you know, like stuff that you wouldn't see on current gen Madden, or EA Sports just cares a little bit more. In the end, does it really matter too much? No, because both of them are created by the Frostbite engine, and all the 3D renders or models are made by a 3D graphic design program. They could use Blender, they could use Aftermarket, I think, something like that. They could use a bunch of different programs. So it's not like this is like, oh, Madden 4 and 25 are better because of next gen. Not really. It's just, I feel like EA Sports gave a crap more. EA Sports actually started caring more. You can see the suites are more furnished. They look better. Everything about the stadium looks better. It feels more like updated premium. The surfaces of the ground looks better. It's like, again, EA really went out of their way to make sure that this stadium looked good, which didn't do a great job with Madden 23 or Madden 22 in that aspect. But they had working cars. So sometimes you got to give a little to get a little, maybe. Like, you know, sometimes you just go for the Jimmy Shake Shake and it works out. Okay, my bad. Game just completely crashed on me. Apologize for that. See, this is the thing. When I do PC mods, everyone's like, how do you do that? How do you do that? Guys, problem with doing PC mods is the game's going to crash on you 1,000 times a second. You might be able to load into a mod, and you're lucky if the game does not crash on you. And if it crashes on you, it's GG, okay? And it might crash on you 60 times in a row, and then one time it works. But it might crash right after that 10 seconds later. I'm running the best hardware you can possibly run, and still my game crashes all the time on me. So again, that's why I don't really make too many videos about like how to do PC mods, because it's so unpredictable and it's frustrating. I wouldn't recommend anyone get into the system. Anyway, though, we do have all these fans on the outside. Okay, so they do this. Interesting. So most dome stadiums do not have fans on the outside. Madden 24 was anal of trying to put fans everywhere. I literally call them ants because they look like ants. They just hover everywhere. They walk in circles and they have zero purpose to be there. But EA Sports really wanted them to be there because they wanted to say, hey, look, we have fans walking around the stadium. We have people in this stadium. It is real life. It is realistic. Usually they don't put them on the outside because people can't see them. But in this stadium, it looks like they do have them on the outside, and they have them everywhere on the outside. So that's kind of interesting. Also, is this grass brand new? I think all this area right here is like brand new. Okay, so this is definitely a lot more updated. No cars, sadly. But they definitely, like, they went crazy with Madden 24. Madden 23 to Madden 24 is definitely a humongous update. Madden 25 is just homing in and finishing the touches of Madden 24. That's really what I get out of it. Like, when you look and watching this video especially, you'll see Madden 23, Madden 24, night and day difference. But Madden 25 is just finishing touches. So you're just going to see a couple more updates, a couple more tweaks, a couple more that, couple more that in a second when we get to Madden 25. Because that's really, again, it's like EA does update some things, but they don't update much. And when they do update, they can really go hard and give us great updates. And most of the times they don't. So Madden 24, as you can see, the map is small as anything. This is a very small map. So, because it's a very small map, that's just kind of the Madden 24S of it. You know, they focus more on inside the stadium, outside the stadium, around the stadium because of that. So, we'll just kind of see how Madden 25 is. I believe Madden 25, I want to say, is not that much smaller a map. I think Madden 25 is kind of equal when it comes to that. So, for the most part, you know, it's not bad. We do got the stadium right here. Baseball stadium, which most maps do have the baseball stadium at least. That's a typical thing at least we get in these maps is a baseball stadium. But yeah, no, this map is so much smaller. It's still huge. Like, it's funny because I say it's so much smaller, but it's still absolutely humongous. And when you compare it to, you know, what it probably should be, which is very small, it's absolutely big chungus levels of big chungus. Like, we're talking about next level big chungy. The chungy of all chungies, bro. And then we got that brick building right there that nobody knows what it's for, but we all know what it's for. We all know. A lot of farmland. A lot of farmland. And foliage. A lot of foliage. For those who don't understand, foliage just means trees and bushes. Someone commented on one of my videos and asked me. By the way, here is Madden 25 right here. Someone commented on my video and asked me what foliage was. And as we load into this game, apologies for this. As we load into this game here, someone asked me what foliage was, and I was like, it just means trees and bushes. They didn't know. So, if you didn't know, I do want to kind of give you the rundown here. Foliage is just trees and bushes. All it is, it's nothing crazy special. Just trees and bushes. As we go ahead and do this kickoff right here, and because the field is set to 3,000 yards, you kind of have to deal with that fact. All right. So now let's go and look at Madden 25's variant of this stadium. So we got our tunnel right there. We got our tunnel over here to the left-hand side. Let's go down to the field level. And again, like I said, looks very good. Very similar to Madden 24. It's easy to miss the upgrades of Madden 25. Things that they really do try to add in are exit signs. It's something that Madden 24 wasn't the best about, was adding exit signs to the tunnels and different areas. Smoke alarms, fire extinguishers. They add those things in Madden 25. Yes, things that we really don't care about. Look at that referee. Anyway, and what's it called? I said fire alarms? Yeah, fire alarms. So that's really what they added to Madden 25. Obviously, I showed you guys in a previous video, but in Madden 25 in the MetLife Stadium, they did add like toll booths and stuff like that. But it's very small, minuscule details they've updated. They didn't go crazy with it. They didn't go insane with it. They gave us just kind of a little bit here and there updates. Where Madden 24 was the big update. And yes, they have a bunch of freaking people everywhere. They have players inside here. Which, okay. Interesting. People inside here and... Okay. I'm sorry, just weird as heck for a second, but okay. People inside there. You have the exit sign right here. Those players really threw me for a loop right there. Absolutely threw me for a loop right there. We got Cowboys signs right there. More players inside here with random poles like going through their head. I don't know why the players are there. That's weird because they weren't there on any other stadium. And we did the same mod for every single stadium. So, interesting. EA Sports. It's in the game. Fun times, fun times. Alright, let's go throughout here. Again, no vendors, sadly, even in Madden 25. I don't know why there's no vendors in this stadium. You would think with it being Jerry's World, there would be vendors freaking everywhere. Like, this is one of the highest prompt stadiums ever. You would think that Jerry's World would have all the vendors. But, surprisingly enough, not the case. Right here, though, we do have Menshun Air. We do have some sponsors, but just no actual stuff like that. We have our typical stuff over here, which is going to be cars. Cars right here on the right-hand side, left-hand side. And, of course, we do have... Actually, I think we have a little bit more cars, right? Because we didn't have the smaller cars, I don't believe, before. We just had, like, regular, like, kind of, like... I don't say crappy cars, but we just had normal cars. Now we actually have, like, more premium cars, which kind of cool. I don't know if they changed with the actual stadium over the time. It did, but still cool. Still freaking dope. Anyway, right here we do have ourselves the Cowboys stadium. Cowboys logos. Oh my lordy, bro. I don't know what happened, but those players being on the outside just absolutely destroyed me. Like, my brain just went into a confuffles. It went into a mess. It was off the fritz again. The glass just looks weird too. I'm just like, my brain's like, why were those players there? Because they just wanted any other Madden. So that's what's so weird to me. It's like any other Madden, they weren't there. But they were there in that one Madden, which, okay. Interesting. We got ourselves a little, sunlight here. A little, I guess, mirror right there. We have AT&T Stadium, the Pro Shop, and the tickets, the Stadium Club. And then obviously we have different gates like the A gate, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way around this stadium. Which again, like I said, and we also have apparently a open area to the void. Okay, never mind. We have K gate. So they don't just go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Shout out to Jerry's World. You're making it confusing, bro. You're making it confusing for no reason, pretty much. Just like those players being out in the nowhere for some reason. Okay. Shout out to that fact. Anyway, though, going over to the right-hand side here, we do have ourselves the parking lot over here as well, parking lot right there. And again, this map is very bare. It's a very bare map, so there's not really much going on, as I showed you throughout the other Maddens as well. It's a very kind of minimalistic map, which for the most part, it's not bad. And the map size is also very small compared to Madden 22. That's why I wanted to go back and add Madden 22 to this series, because I feel like Madden 22 being added to the series does a lot of justice to show you like where it came from and where we're at now, right? Madden 22, it's like, oh my god, this is such a big map. And then you see Madden 25 now, and you're like, holy crap, Madden 25 looks like a big map, when you don't see Madden 22. When you see Madden 22, you realize how much detail they got rid of to put Madden 25 to the place it's at right now. So that's kind of what you realize with Madden 22, is that Madden 22 is insane, and then Madden 25 is still good. It's just that it's, not Madden 22. That's pretty much what I would say overall wise. It's not Madden 22. But still, it's still a very good map across the board. Very excited to, continue this series and see some other stadiums and maps and stuff like that. So definitely tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. And if you have a certain stadium you want me to try out next, definitely tell me and I will do so as soon as possible. We're going to be kind of just going off whim with this series. It's kind of just a random, here and there type series. It's not like it's going to be a particular like, oh, we're doing this stadium, like, in order. I'm kind of just running this through, and whatever stadiums I think are the coolest to look at, we're going to do those first, and we're going to go through all 32 in the end, but we're kind of just going off like that. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. See you guys next one. Deuces.